I have a New Year's resolution. 2021.
Okay.
Only drink the best whiskey in the hut every time.
Okay. We will eventually run out, though.
No, we won't. New
we will.
resolution. Nah. It's a karma thing. If you drink it, it will come. So, attempt 2. That was the worst cork pop. I look like an idiot for that.
Welcome back. We're the Bourbon Junkies.
Welcome back. We're the Bourbon Junkies. And I'm Dan, and he's Sean. And
I hate
today,
you so much.
tonight, and this evening, this morning, and yesterday,
It's definitely night.
we're going to talk to you about something we've never talked about on this channel before, probably. Whiskey terminology.
Yeah.
The common ones. The ones people ask about.
Because we get questions about this stuff a lot.
And I know a ton of words.
We get a lot of people that are new, just getting into whiskey, joining the Facebook group, and they're asking a lot of the same questions on posts. And we figured, you know what? Put out a video. See if we can help some people out.
One of the things that seems pretty common when people get into whiskey is they try to find other people that are into whiskey so they can learn more.
Yeah.
One of those places that's super common is Facebook.
Go to our Facebook group.
There you go. Bourbon Junkies. It's a private one. You gotta answer the questions. You can
Just
get
3
there.
questions.
Be cool. Don't be an asshole.
hard.
That's your warning. This video, that was the warning. Like, comment, subscribe while you're here, because that just popped into my brain. And there's a squirrel on the side of the building. When you join the Facebook groups, one of the things you see a lot of is abbreviations.
Yes.
A lot of talk about things you're like.
No one wants to type things out. We're lazy.
Listen, typing's as hard as
I get it.
talking sometimes. And we abbreviate words all the time. So it makes sense that we would abbreviate things with our fingers too.
We're just going to kick it off.
Number 1.
Mash bill. A lot of people are getting into bourbon. People are talking about mash bills, and we always put them on the screen when we know them, about our reviews and stuff. Some people don't really understand it. All it is you're just a mixture of grains that you're turning into alcohol and putting in to your bourbon. That's pretty much it.
That was a real roundabout way of saying it, but I completely agree with what Sean just said.
Yeah.
It's just the makeup, the grain makeup of the distillate.
Look
at me being a genius
Look at
tonight.
you go.
This hipster hat? Smart now.
So
I need
one of the
glasses.
most common ones, people talk about mash bill 1, mash bill 2.
Buffalo Trace.
Buffalo Trace. They're high rye, low rye mash bills.
And Buffalo Trace just calls them that.
Yeah.
You're allowed to call your mash bill whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
A lot of people say 95.5 rye. That's MGP mash bill. Generally,
We'll get there.
but they don't own the only one.
We'll get there.
That gets confusing. So we're going to move on.
Yeah.
Number 2, the word allocated in the world of whiskey. I feel like a whimsical dictionary tonight. Come hither and experience my whims.
And how this is a perfect representation of
That's true.
allocated whiskey.
So how allocations often work, not all
don't
the
know if that's
time,
in French.
is a state gets so many bottles from the distillery, then it's distributed through the state. There's a bunch. All states have their own systems. It's super annoying. Don't look into it. It'll piss you off.
Michigan's not great.
Michigan's terrible. There's
Yep.
there's state controlled shit in which no stores get anything cool ever. Virginia. Basically, an allocated whiskey is just a whiskey that is often not mass produced.
Yeah.
It's often not easy to find because there is an allocation of it, meaning there's not as many. Listen, what is not? Okay, this is a very unallocated whiskey.
Yeah. You trip over that everywhere, any state, any gas station
Right.
probably has it. When things hit Michigan, it always starts in the southeast of the state. And then it'll kind of wave around the rest of the state.
Allocated whiskey is often good, not always good. They're not mutually exclusive things.
More often than not.
A lot of allocated whiskey is really good, which is sometimes part of the reason it's allocated.
Rare doesn't mean good.
We're gonna start getting into terms in which you see abbreviated often in Facebook groups, seem straightforward, but have some confusion behind them. The next one is single barrels. Often in groups, you'll see somebody say SB, single barrel, or SP, store pick.
Yep.
Often store picks are single barrels, not always.
More often than not, most store picks are single barrel selections from a line. So
okay.
When you go in, stores will buy an entire barrel of whiskey and then bottle it out. And that is known as a single barrel store pick. We will say 99% of the time,
Often.
when you buy a store pick, it is a single barrel.
Right.
There are programs that exist that they buy a blended barrel.
Right.
But, I mean, in the case of Buffalo Trace, this is not a blended store pick. This is just one single barrel that you're buying.
And that's generally there's a sticker on the bottle you're buying that would notify you that it is picked by the store. Often, the other thing you can find in a store is a single barrel that's not a store pick.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit confusing because of that. But there are products that come out on the market like Blanton's, which is one of the biggest ones, or one of the most well-known ones.
Yeah.
That happens to be a single barrel. Now they do Blanton's store picks, which are also single barrels, but they sell Blanton's as a product, as a single barrel product.
You think we've confused people enough yet?
Yep, 100%.
Perfect.
Hey, if you didn't know, unfortunately, the marketing and terminology that goes into whiskey doesn't seem heavily monitored and illegalized, you know?
Illegalized.
Right. You get it. Not legalized. So if you see it in a shop or you see it in a Facebook group, single barrel doesn't mean store pick. Store pick doesn't necessarily mean single barrel, but often a store pick is single barrel. Oh, because that's something that I don't think you mentioned, but the normal Buffalo Trace product is blended.
Yeah.
And when you get a store pick, the difference is you picked a single barrel, whereas Buffalo Trace is taking hundreds or thousands of barrels
And making a
and batching.
consistent product.
Like Jack Daniels does.
Yeah.
That's why every Jack Daniels bottle you buy tastes like the
Jack
other
Daniels.
Jack Daniels. The single barrels are going to taste it.
Okay, so another good one that we see a lot is
Moving on.
full proof versus barrel proof. A lot of people.
That's a little confusing,
Yeah.
actually.
A lot of people interchange them. They think foolproof means barrel proof because
Right.
often the full proofs are high proof.
Yes.
Whereas what that refers to is the entry proof of the liquor into the barrel.
True.
There you go.
Simple, actually.
Yeah.
It's confusing because of products like 1792 Full Proof,
Yeah.
Weller Full Proof. So 1792 Full Proof is 125 proof whiskey.
Because that's what it goes into the barrel at before it starts aging.
Okay, so number 5 is Bottled and Bond. See how I got that out of the way?
Okay, another one that I think, oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? That's a small batch. That's the bottle and bond. One that I think people don't really understand when you're first getting bourbon, bottle and bond.
What that means?
Yeah, what does bottle and bond mean? Bottle and bond just means that this is the most regulated bourbon you can basically
True.
get. It has to be distilled in that same season.
Distilled in one season.
Yeah.
Distilled by one person.
One person, and the government has to have overview of everything that's going on.
Yeah.
Aged for a minimum of 4 years.
Yeah.
Bottled at 100 proof.
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes into
a
a bottle
lot.
and bond product.
Most whiskey has to be, there aren't regulations.
Yeah.
We're talking, let's call it 5 to 8. Bottled and Bond has 231, exactly.
Yeah,
Fucking prison.
pretty much.
Literal bourbon.
1982 here.
Now, Bottled and Bond actually was started to regulate quality. It's not fake. We didn't add a bunch of shit to it.
Yeah.
There were a lot
You
of
probably
things.
won't die if you drink
Right.
this.
There are a lot of things that they used to do. And when you put Bottled and Bond on it, you
Sketchy.
couldn't do those things. It doesn't always mean quality now.
No.
And honestly,
In the case of JTS Brown.
I don't actually understand the purpose of still putting, I don't understand the purpose now of doing all the extra work still to put this on the label. So if you see BIB in a group or somewhere, or somebody says Bottled and Bond, it used to mean quality. Not that it doesn't mean quality now, but it's not 100% of the time. It's not great whiskey. You might not like it. Possibly one of the most asked questions of all time, no matter what, in any group ever.
It just gets brought up a lot. MGP.
Whiskey
What is
sourcing
MGP?
in general, MGP being the main one.
MGP, what are you guys talking about?
Yeah.
Dan already touched on it a little bit earlier. 95.5, very popular MGP rye mash bill.
Bill, yeah.
What they do in this nice little Indiana town is mass produce alcohol.
Yeah.
This is
Isn't
some
Lawrence-
MGP under their own
From
label.
MGP. The most common way you'll find MGP is in other people's bottles with other people's labels. Bellmead being one of the biggest, I would say, or most available MGP source whiskey out there.
One that's big right now,
Right.
Smoke Wagon.
Yeah.
This you can still find in a good amount of places.
Right.
And I think the uncut unfiltered is really
Has MGP in it.
yeah, been coming through as like a dark horse. A lot of people
It's great.
really, really enjoy it.
Yeah. I think it would be shocked to find out how many of the whiskeys you probably drink right now are sourced from MGP.
Yeah.
From one of the mash bills.
So much whiskey.
If you buy whiskey from people who aren't lying to you, it will say distilled in Lawrenceburg, Indiana.
Yeah.
Often.
Yeah.
If it says distilled in Indiana, we're talking, it's a 99 point astronomical 9.
Pretty much like getting a single barrel store pick.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Let us know if any of that was helpful.
Probably
Let us
not.
know what Sean got wrong. I'm sure we missed one of the 207,042 bottled and bond restrictions.
We're the Bourbon Junkies. Proofs in the pour.
Thanks for watching.